Hello, everyone, and welcome back to the NRW where nerds rule the world. I am Heather Hurt. That is KAYFABEYBABY. And honestly, it's been a while since I have suggested reading a book, but here we are talking about a documentary about a book, about a person. And let's talk about modern horror.
My name is Andrea Werhun. I'm a writer and performer, and I'm also a sex worker. In books, movies, and every syndicated crime drama imaginable, sex workers are typically portrayed as victims or villains. It's high time we told our own damn stories. Here's mine. In my early 20s, I worked as an escort.
How dangerous is this job?
You're fine.
And I thought, if this is what it is, that's kind of fun. I was feeling like a triumphant sexual queen.
Wow.
Hey, baby!
Until shame crept in.
You think you're so great, huh? Making all that easy money.
We all have this internalized horophobia within us. And I have it too. So I kept my whoring a secret. Especially when it came to my mom. You were concerned about my safety. And your soul. And my soul.
Men know that people aren't coming to the rescue to sex workers.
These guys, they're repeat offenders. They eventually do the same thing to every single one of us.
Knowledge is power, and they don't want us to have that kind of power.
So, what's the worst thing that's ever happened to you here?
Something must have happened. Women don't just become strippers.
That's called trauma porn. We need a new archetype.
I see sex work as a job where you use your body and you use your mind like any other job.
Oh, come on, no.
I hope that one day you can be face out and not be assaulted.
Shame and stigma can silence us.
We need to tell our stories.
Modern horror hit the film circuit starting in 2024, I believe, and was kind of more widely released in 2025. It is about the life of Andrea Werhun, as you saw in the trailer, and it was directed by Nicole Bazuin, or Bazine. How do you say it again?
Bazine.
Bazine.
Like design, but Bazine.
Gotcha. KP did have an interview with her. We did do just to preempt this. This documentary is one of those really cool spaces between where are all ages. If I stop fucking cussing all the time, it would be all ages. Our all ages nerds of the world come in, and our Nerds After Dark series, which is really cool. But that's one of the really great things about this doc. But we did do a trailer reaction for this because it was kind of in that mixed space. So, KP, what were your initial thoughts of this?
When we did the trailer reaction, it was also because we had this stuff coming in, and I was curious. The titles provokes you off the jump, and then we checked it out. I was like, oh my gosh. I was like, it was really well put together. You know, you and I watched a lot of documentaries, and because of the subject material, I'm like always curious how they're going to approach it. They made it very fun, and they owned it. You know what I'm saying? Andrea owns herself, and I just love that presentation. Then when we saw that trailer, it made me curious about how this film is going to play all the way out. And we'll have a pleasant, well, for me, I had a very pleasant surprise later. But yeah, off the rip of the reaction, it's documented. You and I were like, wow. Yeah, I was super excited for the eventual interview that I was going to have, and then screening it. And now we're going to talk about it. I was hype. Yeah.
I remember one of the big things that I had concerns about is the definition of how or the portrayal of sex work. Of course, it was great to hear that she is a sex worker talking about her life as a sex worker. And of course, Creepy and I are both big proponents that sex work is real work. And so it was important for there to be a positive takeaway from this. And that was my only real concern about this documentary. Other than that, I was very, very intrigued. That was my initial reaction along with Creepy. So with that, we're just going to go straight into the review. Creepy, what were your thoughts?
So yeah, we saw that, and then I saw the film, and I think I called you or texted you. I'm not sure,
Mm-hmm.
but I was like, "Girl, this is amazing." I thought, and again, as I stated earlier, Andrea Werhun, she is a writer. She's collaborated with Nicole Bazuin for this film. This was actually preceded by. Well, actually, let me rewind a little bit more. I'll give you some anecdotes from the interview with Nicole Bazuin. Nicole was directing some music videos. Andrea was hired to be a dancer. That's how Nicole and Andrea met. They then developed a friendship, a relationship, partnership, and creativity. That when she found out that she worked in this business, they decided to do a book together, with Nicole supplying the photographs because she's a photographer, more so than she was a filmmaker, I think, at that standpoint. And then that grew into a couple of short films that did really well, along with the books. And now they decided to go full bore with a feature. And so, yeah, this is to me the perfect relationship between a subject and an artist, and them working together. Nicole is a graphic designer by trade. Was a comic book creator that I found out too by that interview. I was like, what? Because Heather and I are comic book people, and you could see that. You could see that in full motion with the choice of iconography, the color palettes, all of that. So just a perfect relationship, I think, between the subject and the documentarian, and we have this, and I thought it was outstanding. As somebody who, and this channel, Heather and I, where sex positive, sex work is real work, having friends and family that are in various types of industries that are similar to this, I thought this is an important piece and a very educational, informative piece that does so by the entertainment aspect of it. Because when certain people don't know how to kind of digest that certain type of material, you got to find another way to do that. And this, for me, film succeeds in educating and informing people in such an entertaining way that I think it will spark conversation, create change thinking in certain respects for people that might be certain closed-minded in certain respects to things, and also inform what people should look out for, especially for people that are industries, the pluses and minuses of this particular industry as well. Although every industry has that, for this, again, because of this type of work and line of work, it's important. And I thought this was probably one of the best documentaries I've seen in a while. And we watched a lot of documentaries. I had such a great time with this. Again, to me, perfect marriage between subject and filmmaker to create a very artistic piece, well deserving of all the awards it won last year in the festival circuit, to now being released on digital on demand this month. Heather, yeah.
Yes. It did trickle out. I think it's been available on YouTube technically for a while, but just reading about it, but it's now been available like fully on
Well, I think
video.
those might be the shorts, because then again there was like a series of shorts, and the full length feature. I know this from my interview. Arrived on digital May 1st, 2026. The full feature.
Got it. Okay, understood. Because that was what confused me about the PR write up. Like, it was,
because that's
kind of weird. Like,
they use the same name throughout a lot of stuff.
Got it. But yes, it is available on places like YouTube and Fandango, and it's actually really cheap. It's really a reasonable price. Definitely go check it out. Just gonna preempt with that. My opinions are pretty similar. I watch a lot of documentaries for this channel, like a lot, and y'all know that I love documentaries. But one thing that I really love is when you mash up different artistic styles within a documentary. Really make it eye catchy. I did an interview for Out There: Crimes of the Paranormal, available on Hulu, and I talked to the producer about the animation in that one, and I really love how they incorporated animation, but in a very careful stance. This movie wasn't completely animated. There wasn't like 50%. There was some really great animation. There was some really great tropey moments where they went off about the assumptions, about the judgments that are related to sex work, but they make it very fun and entertaining. And they use what Andrea loves. She loves crafting, she loves art, and more importantly, she creates a conversation within the documentary. She brings on her boyfriend, she brings on friends that are also in the sex industry, and they have very honest conversations. And at times, it gets a little bit heated because of the type of assumptions around who they are. And that's one thing that I really, really loved about this documentary is, yeah, some of it was a little bit sarcastic, some of it was funny, but that was to create an air of normalcy, because these are just people trying to make sure that they can pay rent. Sex work, and you can actually look at this going back. There was actually a great conversation, I can't remember which podcast it was, about how many elements of modern day sex work came from where from the circus industry, how entertainment, because sex work used to just be like sex work. You went in, you slept, or you went into a bedroom, you had 15 minutes and then you got out. But modern day sex work is, there's a lot more expectation to it, and so much of that was played off of the entertainment industry and how it was developed through the circus industry, and how so much of that was playing on people with disabilities, on people who had traumatic backgrounds. And I love the conversation on trauma porn in this film. And it really like harkened back to what I've read in the past about those connections, about how people just kind of want to abuse someone, who want to connect with someone through money, through the opportunity of someone who they believe has had either a poor background or needs the money. And I found that very interesting, that conversation very interesting. And I am making a lot of assumptions here. I do apologize, but it just harkened back to some of that, some of that storytelling I've heard through other documentaries, through other places. But I really love the conversation. The conversation on gender, on sexuality, the conversation on accessibility, and the conversation on art. The sex industry is filled with artists, very, very high-end artists who use their work to demonstrate their art, or the opposite, they use their art to demonstrate their work. And it's really, really great to see that. This was a very touching documentary. Would I say it's one of my favorite of the year? No, but would I call it in the top 10? Probably. This is probably one of my favorite documentaries. And it's not for any reason that I would say, lengthwise, pace-wise, anything like that. There's a lot of really great documentaries out here. And one of the big things that this one really exemplifies is the fact that we are talking more about other things. I've watched at least 3 documentaries about activism and about people in the activism spaces. I've been watching documentaries about what's actually happening to victims within the true crime spaces. So one of the things that really makes this documentary stand out is it's another one of those perfect examples that we are finally in a good place to talk about this. We can finally see the truth, but that does not mean that it is fixed. Just because we're in a good place to talk about it doesn't mean that this is fixed. This documentary really points out how much further we have to go. And I know I'm kind of, talking a lot right now, but if you want to have a conversation about sex work with somebody, this is a great place to start. And one of the big things that I will also say, I did not know it was a book before we saw the trailer, and I did not know it was a book. I am probably going to go out and get the book now, because I want to know more. I want to know more about her life. I want to know more about the experiences she's had, and how and what we can do to make the sex industry a safer place for everybody. Because if y'all didn't know it, the sex industry, even though you might not be taking part in it, you're taking part in it. I absolutely assure it. It touches every single facet of every single industry. I promise you that. So with that, Kupi, any final thoughts?
I'm with you. I'm looking to pick up this. I think it was a coffee table book with Nicole doing the photography and graphic design and everything like that with Andrea. I think, again, as I said earlier, probably one of the best partnerships in creative talent with subject and designer, the two of them working together. So yeah, I'm looking to pick up the books as well. I think it was a couple books, and then we have the short films that they've done as well, separate to this piece. To now we get their virtue, the culmination of all of that work over the years, and their partnership and friendship and relationship to now this feature. Yeah, man. For me, probably one of the best, again, documentaries on this subject that we've received, that I think will be used as a tool going forward. Uh, Personally, when I talk to other people that are in this industry and then suggesting to them to help them that are trying to find themselves in ways they can further out from what they know, and just that's informative and and entertaining and all those things. I loved everybody that participated, that Andrea got, her from her coworkers, colleagues, the fact that she got her boyfriend on, her mother, she opened up herself. So shout out to, again, Andrea for opening up herself, and again, working in collaboration with Nicole to create something just so entertaining and informative all at the same time. Again, this blew me away. So I'm definitely going to be checking it out again, recommending it, and then picking up all these other previous things that they've created in this catalog of stuff. And from what I understand from Nicole, they've got some more things that they're trying to do as well in the future. I can't wait to see what they're going to do, because they caught my attention with this. And so if this is what we're getting out of them two together, I'm already in. And then separately, I'd love to see what, because to me, Andrea is an amazing actor. I'd love to see in other projects. And then Nicole with her eye in design, like, I want to see the comic books. Heather and I are big comic people. Like, I need to see that stuff. Yeah, cool stuff. I'm all in with modern horror. Those are my thoughts, Heather. And yeah, I'm like you, looking to get those other works.
Absolutely, absolutely. I have seen some of their, if you Google image it, I was trying to find a good pick for the back, and I did see that there was some comic book stuff for this, so I'm very, very curious. My final thoughts are, definitely go check it out. Once again, there's a couple places that you can get it, but then most notable, of course, is Fandango and YouTube. I think it's as cheap as like $4.99 or $5.99. It's
We're
really,
all
really
worth
cheap.
that price.
Yeah, it's only an hour and 20 minutes. It's totally bingeable, easy to do. And one of the great things, as I said at the top, this film is very cross-generational. It's very cross-genre, where yes, there are depictions of sex, and I do wonder if she was having sex in some of those scenes. No hate. I'm just wondering. But there are some more verbose imagery in this, but it's really nothing that's not completely accessible to anybody, no matter what your opinions are of sex work. It can cross both, into that normal documentary space where anyone can watch it, and also kind of shift into those nighttime spaces, those after dark spaces. And that's what I really, really love about this. And I cannot wait for more conversations that come from this documentary. I'm really excited to see more of that. With that, have you seen this film yet? Are you interested in seeing the film now? What are your thoughts? And if it's anything other than sex work is real work, I really don't give a fuck. So with that being said, make your comments below. Tell us what you think, like, subscribe, share, and all of those things. And we will talk to y'all soon.